What's going on, guys? CTG Matt back. You read the title. Today we are tier listing every rookie in the 24-25 NBA rookie class. You heard me right. We're tier listing every rookie from this class. We are starting with number 1, Zach Ricochet, and I did the entire first round. The entire first round is here all the way down to Baylor Shireman, who we'll talk about him. And then how did I choose second round picks? I didn't take every second round pick because not every second round pick is played. I took all the ones that have played 200 or more minutes. That gives me ample time to look at what you're doing and evaluate your game because there's no point in putting, I don't know, some guy who's played 10 minutes on here in a second round pick, 47th overall. You know what I mean? That's ironic. I'm pretty sure I said 47th overall and Antonio Reeves was 47th. He's on the list, but Harrison Ingram and like Tristan Newton are not. You have to cross 200-minute threshold to be on here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new. Would love to have you around. We're going to start with number 1 overall pick, Zach Ricochet. He has had, I'll call it a fine season. Shooting, he's like an ideal role player in the sense where he is only hitting corner threes right now. I think 49 of his like 89 makes have been from the corner. So he is like the perfect role player, I guess. You know, he knocks down his corner threes. But he doesn't do anything really else well. He defends all right. I mean, he's got length on his side, but overall, he still hasn't fully developed into a great defender. But length is always going to help that. But outside of the corner, if he's not taking a corner three, it is quite rough. I'll just be honest, it is quite rough if it's not a corner three. And rim finishing, not part of his forte either. He's had some good games. Recently, he broke a Hawks record. He has the most 20-point games by a teenager in Hawks history now. That's a fun little stat. It doesn't necessarily make your season good, but it does mean that you at least showed up, you played games, and you played hard. Sorry, I'm adjusting my sock. But yeah, just a fine season. Nobody's thinking of him as a Rookie of the Year candidate. But also, if you're thinking of him as a bust, I don't know what you were looking at to begin with. This draft class doesn't have many heavy hitters. You'll come to see that. Even the Rookie of the Year candidates aren't having the craziest of seasons. As we move to number 2, Alex Sarr. Sarr is a unique player because offensively, his usage rate is getting up there. In the beginning of the season, his usage rate was kind of normal, to be honest, like 70s. But as of recently, last like 2 weeks, his usage has gone up. And the production's gone up, kind of. His shooting's still pretty inefficient, but he did have a big game against Denver. Jokic, he had a very good game against Jokic. And on top of that, defensively, the kid's great. Like, that's one thing that I cannot ever take away from Alex Sarr is the fact that he is legit a good defender, a good rim protector. He's in like the 80th percentile in block rate. He's having a great defensive season. It's just offensively he can't piece it together. So that gets you putting super solid. I'd say it's a better season than Ricochet's, but also he's not a Rookie of the Year candidate, and his usage rate's just going up. I'm curious to see what he can be down the line because I think he has a lot of amazing talent. But as for right now, he's just a rim protector and an occasional pick and pop big man. That's about it. Reed Sheppard is going into the no PT zone. He's the first one in the no PT. Would you look at how diverse this class is already? And I don't just mean there's a white guy, a light-skinned guy, and never mind. But Reed Sheppard just hasn't played. And then he got hurt. Now he's hurt. He's missed a few weeks. I think it was thumb injury, hand injury, somewhere along those lines. And he's missing time. And he's not going to be playing very much in the near future. And I didn't think he was going to begin with. They have a lot of point guard play in Houston right now with Freddie, Amen, Kim Whitmore, Aaron Holiday's there. And then there's another guard that I'm forgetting. Jalen Green can play guard. Like, they have a lot of guards. All right. So I couldn't expect Reed Sheppard to get a ton of PT, and he really hasn't. He did have a big game against OKC, very good shooting game against OKC. But otherwise than that, he hasn't really gotten a chance, so I can't really do much with that. Stephon Castle is the clubhouse leader in Rookie of the Year candidacy right now, in my opinion. He's having a fine rookie season. Efficiency-wise, you're going to look at it, and you might be a little bit disgusted. However, when you watch the tape, you see that this kid is electric. He loves finishing with the right hand on the left side, little jelly layups. He also stops on a dime, like his Euro steps. He has mastered the 1, 2, slow it down as much as possible, try and draw a foul. He's becoming very good at that. Very crafty around the rim. Explosive finisher. He can jam that ball. He's a hard dunker, rim punisher. And he gets maybe the worst shooter's roles I've ever seen in basketball. If I pull up tape a lot. I watch some of his tape and I see shots that are going woo 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 whoop and out or brrr and out. They're hitting every side of the rim and somehow not going in. It's quite incredible to watch for Castle. I don't think he's a reliable shooter, with all that being said, but year one point guard, it takes a little bit to adjust, especially as a point guard. That's like the hardest position in basketball, and on top of that, he's still a good defender. Well, fine enough for his size and for his position. I love Stephon Castle. I think he's got one of the highest upsides in this draft, and he's a Rookie of the Year leader in the clubhouse for a reason. Ron Holland has played more PT than I thought he has, and he hasn't necessarily been bad, to be honest. He hasn't been great either. He's got a nice little mid-range game, but I think I can't put him... I don't know. Can I put him with Reese Shea? I don't know, because he doesn't get as much PT. He doesn't have as many 20-point games. He doesn't score as often. He just doesn't play as much. I think I need to put a category between Reese Shea or between fine and no PT, because he's somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's as high as Reese Shea is, because like I said, the scoring games, scoring output, defense, rebounding. But Ron Holland has a nice little mid-range game, and I think he can play. I just don't think he's had as great of a rookie season, as good of a rookie season as a Zach Reese Shea. But that also comes with opportunity. Of course, Holland playing with Cade and Malik Beasley and Tobias Harris. He has guys that could take more shots than Zach Reese Shea does, who's only playing with Trae Young right now, Dyson Daniels. So this is a weird spot. I'm going to make another category. I'm just going to call it flashes, and that's where Ron Holland's going to go, because there's flashes of being a good player. There's flashes of maybe being a positive. He definitely shoots the mid-range well. I think he's over a 50% mid-range shooter, albeit on sub 100 attempts. But if you can knock down a mid-range, there's something there. He did miss 2 free throws at the beginning of the season. Anyone remember that? It was a wild one. But I like Ron Holland. I just haven't seen enough yet. 400, not even 500 minutes. That's not enough for a guy who was drafted in comfortably in the top 10. Tidjane Salaan's going in the no PT zone. How many minutes has he played? Take a guess right now. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, guess. How does 250 sound? On a horrible team, albeit. I don't get why he isn't getting more PT, or just PT crammed down his freaking throat. The Hornets have nothing to play for. Literally nothing. I think he should just play more. Hornets stink. You have nothing to play for. What's the worst that happens? He loses you a game? Oh my god, that was the goal anyways. I don't know. Tidjane hasn't played enough for me to give a judgment, so he goes in the no PT zone with Reed Shepherd. Kling Kong is going in fine. He hasn't done a ton offensively, but defensively, he's a menace. He was getting cooked by... What's his name? What is his name? I forget what his name is. Colin Castleton was grabbing offensive rebounds on him in Toronto. I was watching that game. Colin Castleton had a good little game against Kling Kong, but Kling overall, good rebounder, good defender. It's what you expected. Good rebound, good defense, roll, and maybe get 4 points a game. It's what you expected out of a rookie season. He's cracked 30 minutes in a game twice, maybe 3 times. So it's not like he's getting big PT. Like I said, just good rim protection, solid player, nothing special. Yet. So if Tidjane Salaan has 250 minutes and Rob Dillingham has less than that, where do you think Rob Dillingham's going to go? Into the no PT zone. What he was expected to give, he's given. Instant offense. He'd be a quick scoring punch. He has done that. However, the defensive liability aspect of it is definitely tough. Also, some other guys in this, not rookie class, but some other younger guys for the Timberwolves have stepped up recently. Guys like TJ Shannon, Terrence Shannon Jr. Do they call him TJ? And then there's also Jalen Clark, who's definitely taken some of his minutes as well, soaked up some of the guard minutes in Minnesota. Mr. Steal Your Inbound, Jalen Clark. So Dilly hasn't gotten enough PT. Zach Edey is a Rookie of the Year candidate, man. I doubted it. I'll be the first one to jump in front of the bullet and say, I did not know Zach Edey was going to be even close to this good, to be honest with you. He's been not spectacular, because there hasn't been a singular spectacular rookie in this class, in my opinion. But Zach Edey has been as much of a surefire as I've seen in a little while, in terms of you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get size, a little bit of defense. He's going to throw some bows in the paint, hit some people in the rebound. You know what I mean? He could pass a little bit. And on top of that, fun stat. Of all players taken 1 out of 12, the entire draft lottery in this class, Zach Edey has the highest 3-point percentage, I believe. Do with that what you must. He's shooting 36%. Kind of nuts for a guy who I don't think attempted many at school. Edey's just fun. He's a fun little player, and like I said, I did not expect him to be this good. But however, he lost some weight in the pre-draft process. He's gaining a jump shot. Just a fun player to watch develop, honestly. Cody Williams is going in nightmare because I don't think I watch Jazz games from time to time, and when I watch Cody Williams, I just don't see much. I don't know if that's rude. I don't want to come off as like his career is over. It's not. But from what I've seen this year, all 800 whatever minutes, it's been like I hardly notice he's there sometimes. Cody Williams is also in the first percentile in effective field goal percentage, meaning that there aren't many less efficient shooters than him in basketball this season. Like I said, I don't hate Cody Williams. I don't hate the Jazz. I don't hate the pick. I don't think his career is not over. He's not on Wong Dong Tiger alert. All right. But he does need to show some flashes every once in a while, and he just hasn't for me. Like I said, there's been stretch games where he checks in, and I'm just like, is he on the court? I don't know. Maybe this offseason he'll really tap into something, but man, it's been not great for young Cody Williams this year. Still only 20, plenty of time, though. Modest. We love Modest Buzelis around here. Favorite rookie in the class. Although he's not a Rookie of the Year candidate leader, he has had what I'll call a good season for his standards. He took Patrick Williams' starting spot, albeit that's because Pat Williams is horrible. Not that Modest has been so spectacular he's taking spots. It's just Patrick Williams has been so terrible, he's basically giving Modest a spot. But Modest has been starting, and it's been way more fun with him in the starting lineup. Him, Giddey, Kobe. It's a fun team, and he's a big part of that. He throws down hammer dunks. He runs in transition. He defends really well. Underrated defender, Modest Buzelis. He can get blocks, got great length. Every time he comes into a video, I spend 15 minutes on him. So I'm not going to try to this video, but I love what he does. I think he's so smart, length out of this world. Bulls got a good one, in my opinion. Nikola Topic hasn't played a minute. I'm pretty sure he got hurt, and he hasn't played a minute. That's about it. That's how that goes. He would have gotten buried probably on the depth chart anyways. This team, Thunder run deep. They got a big lineup, a lot of players. So I don't know how much rotation minutes he would have gotten had he been active, but I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL or something. So, he goes in the no PT zone because he hasn't played a minute. All right, so we'll play a game. If Reed Shepard's in the no PT zone, Tijan Salon's in the no PT zone, and Devin Carter has less minutes than Tijan Salon, and about similar amounts to Dilly. 1 + 1 = 2. Devin Carter goes in there. He's a fun player. He's got great hair. But overall, the Kings are in such a limbo position. They have Levine, who they're trusting to play guard. Monk can play guard. Monk is the point guard. And then they also have Keon Ellis, who plays guard. They have guard forwards like DeRozan, but I just don't know when he's gonna get his chance with this team. I don't. But he's been good. He's been all right when he's played. It's just he hasn't very much played at all. So yeah. Now we go to Bub. Bub has been fine. I like Carlton Bub Carrington. I think he's a good player. He's a good change of pace. He has a good speed. He's bigger than I thought he was. Way pause on that. My fault, yo. My fault there. But he has more length than I thought. Bro, I can't get around the jokes. No Grady Dick jokes around here, all right? Bub's playing a lot. He's not having a great effective season, but he's playing a lot. He's developing. There's another guy on the Wizards who I like more than him, albeit, but I like the change of pace that Bub has. He's definitely a quick first step type of guy. He can get things moving. He can push the ball. I like Bub. It's just he hasn't been as effective as I'd like this season, but also the Wizards stink. I don't know. Weird spot for him to be in. All things considered, I'm putting Khalil Ware in super solid. He's been pretty good playing the 4 next to Bam for some nights, or the 5 next to Bam, whatever one you want to play. It's interchangeable. He's been fine. Pretty good. Adds size to a team that doesn't have much size. Bam's a great center, but he's only 6'8". Khalil is closer to 7 foot. He adds the size that they need. I like the shooting touch. He can shoot a little bit, kind of. And then he finishes well around the rim. He's got good foot speed. Really like Khalil Ware. He's had a couple of double-doubles, too, ever since the Jimmy Butler trade, when he's truly gotten to play rotational minutes down the stretch for this Miami team. So, overall, good rookie season for Khalil Ware, although he is not one of the leaders in, although he's not one of the leaders in Rookie of the Year, he's having a pretty solid season, all things considered. And if he played more games, maybe he would, but he just hasn't really played enough games. Minutes-wise, he's over 1,000, so he's played enough minutes to analyze him, but I don't think he's played enough to compete with an Edie or a Castle who played a bulk of the season. McCain is a tough one. I'm going to have to put him in no PT, but we all know, obviously, he's not in the echelon of these guys. He had a better season than them, but it got cut really short. You know, I didn't get to see a full season out of him. I didn't even get to see a full half of a season out of him, I don't think, before he got hurt. So I don't know where to put him. And obviously, like, I could put him in super solid, but he didn't play a lot of games before the injury. And then I also could put him in, like, he's not a Rookie of the Year candidate because he got hurt. But would he have been if he didn't get hurt? I don't know. Too many variables, and especially for a rookie, when there's the thing is, like, the rookie wall and stuff like that. I'm not going to bite on him being, like, ultra great and be like, you know what, that 20 games or whatever he played, I'm going to extrapolate for all 82. I don't think I'm comfortable doing that with a rookie. I hope you understand that. So as of right now, he takes his placement down in no PT, but don't get him misconstrued. Jared McCain can ball. I have him higher than all these guys, but the issue is that it's an injury, and he didn't get to finish the season. He didn't get to play enough, in my opinion, for me to fully say this kid's on star watch like he looked like he was going to be. You just gotta hope he comes back from injury fine, and he'll be on a great pace. Dalton Connect. Where do I put him? Has he been as good as like a Khalil Ware, Modest Buzelis, Alex Sarr? He's an older rookie, so the expectations were different. I'm trying to figure it out, and I think I'm just going to put him in fine. He's a good shooter, plus shooter. Had a good game against Denver when it was just him and Reeves hooping. That was fun to watch. He bonked his head crazy on the floor. It's scary, to say the least. Wide open dunk. I don't know. Wide open dunk, and he still landed on his head. That was really wild to see. He almost got traded, didn't get traded. Now he's back, and he's playing good. He's playing fine. He's just a shooter. Stay off ball, shoot, and use your size on defense. And he's a little bit athletic, you know. He's not one of the leaders. And you know what? I don't know how to rank him because, again, like I said, the expectations had to have been higher because he's a 4-year guy. You're never going to sit here and expect less out of a guy who spent more time in college. Those 4-year guys are supposed to be producers right away, NBA-level production right away. Dalton Connect's giving you that. You know what? He's going up. That's what we're doing. I mean, he's shooting like 36% from 3. It's not... I don't know. I'm going to... He's averaging similar-ish stats to Bub, so I'm going to move him down. I like Dalton Connect, though. It's just he plays a role, and that's basically all he does is play a role. We're going to move on to Tristan Da Silva, who also plays a role. Be lengthy, play defense, and go shoot threes, and that's what TDS provides. I was very high on Tristan Da Silva pre-draft. He was one of my favorites, and he's had like a fine season. That's why he's in fine. He's averaging like a smooth 7 and 3. It's not pretty. But again, this rookie class is role player heaven. You're not going to see many 15-point scorers out of this class. You're going to see just a bunch of cool role players. And that's what TDS is. He's a cool role player. This is Mr. Jacoby Walter, who's had actually an above-average season from what I thought he'd be. I wasn't sure what to expect out of Jacoby Walter coming out, but he has impressed me a little bit. And he's definitely made some waves with how he's played. Pretty sure he had a game winner. Like, that's pretty cool your rookie year. Averaging like a smooth 8 and 3. It's a fine little season. Overall, not great, not bad. You're going to notice a lot of fine in this class because I don't think anybody's really standing out like that, except for the few at the top, but you know what I mean? It's just a lot of, like, okay guys. Jalen Tyson's in a weird spot because he doesn't play a ton, but when he does, it's mostly blowouts, 30-point game, 4 minutes left. So he's playing on a stacked Cavs team. He's going to get put in no PT because there's no way that I can judge him on 300 garbage time minutes where they're up 30 and they're just like, yeah, buddy, go get him. I'm not going to sit here and say he's a bad player because he hasn't gotten the chance. You know what I mean? Eve, super solid. His ceiling, from what I saw and from what I projected, was Clint Capella, and he's been Clint Capella. Go get a rebound, go dunk the ball, go block the ball. That's what he does. That's his job. He's done it well. Eve was a leader in Rookie of the Year at one point, but I think that kind of tailed off when his help stopped coming into work. Like they all mysteriously disappeared. Everyone in the New Orleans area just went goodbye. He has no point guard to feed him the ball, and he's not really like a go ISO type center. He's not going to take jump shots. I enjoy Yves Missy's game. I saw him as Clint Capella. We all saw him as Clint Capella, and he's been just that, Clint Capella. All right, back-to-back no PTs. Daron Holmes tore his Achilles. A.J. Johnson has played 100 minutes, so that's cool. I love Daron Holmes, and all right, so I think I'm a bad omen on NBA players, quite frankly. I think I am right now. Maybe it's just coincidence. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But I was very high on Daron Holmes, and I had an old video where, like a day after the draft, I graded some of my favorite picks and some of my favorite players. And Daron Holmes was maybe one of my top 3 favorite players in the draft, and gone like that. And it's gone, South Park style. So that was sad. And then A.J. Johnson plays on the Bucks, competitive team, hasn't really gotten a chance to play. Keyshawn George, he's shooting inefficiently. Yeah, but he's a dog on defense, bro. Look at them defensive highlights. Turn on some of them defensive highlights from Keyshawn George. And his shot, I think, is going to come around eventually. I love Keyshawn George. He plays so hard. All right, he's a very tough player, and I'm just a fan all around. Maybe it's the hair. Love the hair. But I'm just a fan of Keyshawn George. Although he shoots horribly from the field, I get it. I think his defense is just so good and underrated. I made a video with him in it a few weeks ago, so go check that one out. Paco Dadier. Pacome? Dadier? I think it's Dadier. I feel comfortable saying that. This is Dylan Jones. Again, he's going to go in the no PT area. He plays for OKC. He doesn't get a lot of PT. He was good against Portland a week back, maybe. I think he had a game against Portland where he played a good amount of minutes, and he was all right. So that's cool. But overall, when you play 4 to 8 minutes a game, what am I supposed to say? Terrence Shannon Jr., TJ Shannon. I think they call him TJ. I thought I heard that on the broadcast last time I saw him play. I'm a fan. I see flashes. Obviously, he plays for a kind of contender in Minnesota with Ant and Jew and all them guys. Julius Randle. I hate that saying his nickname. It sounds like I'm talking about. Never mind. I'm not Kanye West is all I'm going to say. But TJ Shannon, solid flash player. A couple games here and there where it's like, oh, he's been a pretty good player against Utah last night. He felt good. Watching the game, it felt like he was providing something positive for the team. So there's that. Ryan Dunn, fine. It's more than fine, but it's not. It's not more than fine because offensively, he's been bad. But he's literally the glue for the Suns' defense. I mean, they are 10 times better a defensive team when he's on the court. He's their leader in defensive plus minus. He is an elite defender already, a great defender. But that offensive side. And that's always a big kicker whenever you draft one of those guys that's like the best defender in the class, because typically that means that their offensive game is very minimally developed, but the defense is always there. The defense is always a plus side, and Ryan Dunn has been pretty good at what he was expected to do, especially this late in the draft. I feel like that's a good pick. Isaiah Collier with his square-ass head. He's going to go in flashes. He's been okay some games and then bad others. He's had a weird season all around. His offensive scoring game, talking about Isaiah Collier, is very rough, but he passes well, but he's also a big fan of turnovers. He had a 10-assist game last week, 7 turnovers with it. So, yeah, big fan of turnovers, Isaiah Collier, but I think he's good. I don't know. I think he's good, but, at the same time, I can't tell. It's Utah, and that whole team is just, I don't even know how to describe them. Baylor Shireman, I don't care if he gets no PT. He's been terrible in the PT he does get, and that's going to sound mean. It is mean. I don't really care. I'm a Celtics fan. I watch him. They were doing well against Brooklyn the other night, and then he subbed in. Brooklyn immediately gets right back into the game. He can't do anything. He does nothing well, and that's the big issue. All right? Some people say availability is the best ability. Baylor Shireman is the proof that no, that's not true. Ability is the best ability, because Baylor Shireman's available, but I don't want him playing. I don't want him on the court for my team. I don't know why they stopped playing Torrey Craig to give him minutes. I don't know. I'm complaining a lot. I know, whiny, wah, wah, wah. Celtics are great, and you're crying about the 30th pick. Yeah, when he's playing minutes and being such a net negative, he looks like a NASCAR driver. Doesn't even look like an NBA player. I don't know. I don't know. I'm ranting. I'm mad. It's because I just don't like Baylor Shireman. I don't think he's a very good player. Maybe he's lefty Sam Hauser in 5 years. But dear Lord Jesus, keep him in Maine. All right, Jonathan Mobo, who I think he's had a fine year. Toronto's letting everyone just cook, let everyone do their thing because they're the Raptors and they have nothing to play for. Mobo's been a big, how do I describe that? He's been a big beneficiary of them not caring if they win or lose and them missing 100 players per night. Mobo's a good bench piece, and that's what Toronto did in this draft class. They drafted a bunch of around the edges pieces, role players. Guys like a Jacoby Walter, guys like, I don't even know if they drafted Jamison Battle, and then Jonathan Mobo. They found some contributors, and Mobo's like, all right, I like the energy he provides. I think of all the Jazz rookies, Kyle Filipowski's had the best season, and it's not really close in my opinion. He's been like a net positive, kind of. His defense, he's just really big, so that helps. He plays like the 4 with him, Lowry, and Walker Kessler on the floor is like menace ball, but it's fun to watch. Flip is a good passer for his size, I'll say. He moves the ball well. He could shoot a little bit. Of course, he fell in the draft because there was some interesting stories about him in the offseason. To just leave it at that. His girlfriend is definitely not like us, but he's in Utah now, so that's okay. But he's definitely been their best rookie. He can block shots. It's Kyle Filipowski. You know what you're going to get. Flip at Duke. He was a fun little player at Duke. Definitely a interesting player to watch play college basketball, to say the least. Donnie Furphy is a weird case because when I watch him, I see kind of Josh Giddey almost. Not really the same. But he's more explosive and athletic than a Josh Giddey is, but he's also not developed. He's very young. I think I'm going to put him in no PT, even though he's crossed 200 minutes. I haven't seen enough, and the Pacers are competitive and trying to remain in the playoff race and trying to get home court advantage. So he doesn't get a lot of PT because they need ready guys right now. AJ Mitchell has a toe sprain and hasn't played in a while, so he goes in no PT, but when he did play, he looked good. I'll leave it at that. Jalen Wells, I'm going to put in super solid. For a second-round pick, the guy moved into the starting lineup very fast and has remained a big piece of their rotation. He can knock down a 3, he plays decent enough defense. He can move the ball every once in a while. He can dribble, and he's just all around a fine player. He's a dream role player for that Memphis squad. He's impressed me. For a second-round pick, that's a hit, I'll say, to say the least, And I think this is expectation-based, this ranking for me, because I had none. I was very unfamiliar with Jalen Wells before this season, so putting him up here is respect. At one point, he was one of the leaders in Rookie of the Year, so that's something. Oso Ighodaro, he's been fine. His jump shot's wonky, funny looking, to say hilarious, actually. I'm just going to outright say it. His jump shot looks funny, but he provides good energy big man. He kind of plays a weird 5 spot for them. He hardly plays enough, but he has played enough to be seen. Of course, they're relying on Mason Plumlee and Bol and Nick Richards down low, but Oso plays his role well when he gets PT. Dembona flashes. It's going to sound wild, but I think he should expect more playing time. With Joel Embiid being the way he is, if he just sticks around in Philly, he's going to get playing time because Joel's going to miss time. I don't like saying that, and of course the game's better when everyone's healthy, but Joel Embiid is one of those guys who just doesn't seem to be right for the NBA. His body doesn't seem to be the right fit for the NBA. Is how I guess I'm going to do it because his body can't hold up. Bona's a good rim protector. He'll bone you at the rim. He's just a solid contributor. I like Adem Bona. He's an interesting player. Definitely has he also has some Clint Capella in him. Am I just simplifying it to a run dunk center who blocks shots as Clint Capella? Maybe, yeah. Or Rob Williams, but nobody has the hop of Rob Williams. So. KJ Simpson has played surprisingly more minutes than I thought. I'm going to put him in flashes, he rebounds well, I guess. He doesn't shoot very well. Nobody in this class shoots very well. But I guess for a second-round pick, he's performed like a second-round pick would. You get what I mean? Pelle Larson is what I'm learning. I thought it was Pele. but it's, I guess, Pella Larson. Flashes. That's all I see out of him. Plays good defense, very active. Doesn't disrupt the offense, I'll say. The Heat's offense is very gross at times, and he doesn't hurt it, but he's definitely a decent defender. He's active, and he helps spark a couple of, like, fake comebacks, because that's all they're good for right now is fake comebacks. But he's been a fine player, kind of fun to watch every once in a while, but he doesn't get enough PT. So, I don't know. But he has shown me flashes when I watch him. Another one of those Raptors role players I talked about, Jamal Shed, who I think also hit a game winner. Hit a role player. I think he hit a game winner at one point. Jamal Shed has done some things well. He's pretty good, actually. He shot the ball relatively well this season, and he's a decent enough passer. He doesn't turn the ball over a ton. He's a good, like, backup point guard, and I think that's kind of what they're hoping out of him is good backup point guard, and I think that's what you're going to get out of Jamal Shed. He's a fine player, and out of all the guys Toronto drafted, I think I like his game the most. Antonio Reeves, despite playing on the Pelicans, hasn't really gotten enough PT for me to notice him. I'm going to be honest, I don't watch a lot of Pelicans games. Because they stink. I'll just come right out and say it. They aren't good, right? And it's not his fault. It's not Antonio Reeves' fault they're bad. It's quite the opposite. But he's a good scorer. He's weird. I don't know. I watched him in college, Kentucky fan myself, and he was good. I really liked him. But yeah, I just don't know what he provides in an NBA game. I don't watch him enough is what I'm saying. What the hell is this? Quentin Post has to go up in super solid because he's damn near going to end up starting on the Warriors at some point because he's been better than all their other centers. I don't know how the 58th pick or whatever ended up becoming a really good part of their rotation, but he's been super good for them. He stretches the floor, and on top of that, he's just big, you know. So you always have the he's just big angle because he protects the rim. Not great. He's not Vic or anyone like that, but he's a good rim defender, kind of, but he also shoots the three well, which is helpful for the Warriors system. A big that can stretch the floor, which I don't think they've had in a while, you know? The last, like, center, the last 4 or 5 that I can remember that has shot threes effectively for the Warriors, Eric Paschall, but he didn't play the 5 very much. He was more of a 4. I don't know, tough. I don't remember. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing someone. And then Ariel Hukporti, who I believe just went down for the season. Don't mean to put him in nightmare, but yeah, I thought he was going to be good. I thought he was actually going to crack the rotation. He didn't really crack the rotation, but it's Tibbs. He doesn't play any rookies. We know that. And now he's just hurt, I believe. So there goes the season. If you disagree with any of the players on this tier list, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Comment down below. Tell me why you think I'm wrong, or tell me that I underrated or overrated such and such player. I love having basketball discussion down below. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to anyone who likes, comments, does anything of that sort. All right. Love you guys. I'm going to go catch a game. See you guys in the next one.